Is there only one being of source or God that exists?
What is the central sun that we connect with when we do the oneness meditation? What's the significance of it, and what is its relationship to source?
So if I believe that, I can change my reality just as I want to without cleaning, doing all the healing or cleansing.
Everything is perfect. Even though at the time it may be traumatic and not what we want to experience, it is perfect. Everything is always perfect.
I don't stop to meditate when there's a transmission coming through. Do I still receive the transmission?
Welcome to today's episode of Becoming Awesome. Get ready as Peter D. delivers channeled answers to your Ascension questions.
Welcome, everybody. It's so beautiful to be with you on this Ascension Q&A. We've got a lot of good juju in the room. There's some people with some really nice consciousness that I'm already connected and feeling too. So it's very nice to be with you, and we're going to get into oneness later and share all that so that the advantages that each of us has can be shared with everybody. I'm going to mute everybody right now to stop the feedback. And then when it's your time to speak, I'm going to ask you to unmute. We're going to have questions and answers followed by a beautiful group consciousness, get into oneness, and then have a transmission for awakening, which will quiet your mind, move you to better states of awareness. So that's going to be the plan for today. Before we do, we've got some announcements I'd like to make. 3 on my end, and then 1 with a special guest who's here with us today. So the first thing I want to say is thank you. The last time I did this, I asked for donations because we were in a spot, Tracy and I, and you guys came through so beautifully. And I just want to express gratitude for that. Of course, could always use a little bit more because we're not entirely out of the woods yet. So if you do feel moved, please just go right ahead and send it to the link that's below this message or in the chat. The second thing I want to say is that we're getting close to having our retreat in France, the end of June 28th through July 5. And I know some of you have been thinking about going. Now's the time to take the leap. This is real important. If you want to show up, you got to show up. And when things are done in person, it's going to be super, super more energetic. Plus, it's just all the beautiful French countryside. You'll get to relax and rejuvenate in a beautiful 5-star French 14th century chateau. So hopefully, if you're on the fence and you're thinking about it, take the leap. Now, the last thing I'd like to say, and this is a little exhortation, I'm going to ask you to carry a little bit more weight for planetary ascension. So I've been getting it clearly from source and from other people that I trust. It's very important that people who are spiritually aware begin to post their spiritual awarenesses on the internet. So if you got a blog, put it there, get on social media, start making posts where you either speak into a camera or just write something up. The reason for this is we're moving into the age of AI. In the next generation or so, kids are going to grow up learning everything pretty much by asking AI to teach them. And what AI does is it scans through the internet and says, okay, this is what's out there. And if we don't carry the good spiritual messages, guess what they're going to get? More and more of the crap that we've been getting for so long. So the only way to change that is for you to actually start to put your messages out there in a big, beautiful way. So I'm asking everybody, get on social media and start sharing the positive things happening in your life so we can start to train the AIs up and help move the planet that much faster. Those of you who get my emails, there's links at the end. All the social media, those of you watching this on YouTube, there's links down below in the description. Please get on social media and start to share. All right, having said that, I'm going to turn this over to Daryl Ng in just 1 second. Daryl, oh my God.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy Daryl's energy. And I'll just let you speak, Daryl, about what you're doing so everybody here can share and know about this.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Daryl, and like all of us, I have a very distinct galactic lineage, and I have many of my clear abilities online. One recent clear ability that I have that I'm enjoying is that I have healing and cellular regeneration skills beyond imaginable. It just comes into me, and I just can heal and cellular regenerate just like that. I promised Peter that as I get more information, I will teach him some techniques. So I have downloaded some very interesting techniques for cellular regeneration. They actually break down into Palladian, Arcturian, Andromedan, human. I got them all configured, and I know how to organize it and explain it. So be following Peter, because I will pass on that information to Peter. So that's all I want to say at this time.
Fantastic. And those of you who watch this on YouTube, I'll have links to Daryl's website or how to get in touch with him if you want to, participate in learning this. We're going to become our own race of healers. And Daryl's helping usher that in. So thank you so much for doing your part with that. So now we're going to go into the Q&A part. And these are your questions. I'm going to do my best to tap into the field, see what spirit has to say, see what's up there. Great. So please raise your hand if you know how to do that. Use the emoji in the bottom or wave at me until I see you. And then I will unmute you and put you in a spotlight. So that's good for the camera to record. And we will get into it. So who would like to start with a question? All right, so let's go right back to you, Daryl. Go ahead and unmute yourself and wait 1 moment till I get this spotlight set up.
All right. So, okay, can I go?
Yes, please.
All right. So I understand the difference between collective consciousness and individuated consciousness. And when I speak to various channelers, they have brought in various beings like Saint Germain, Thoth, which I kind of understand is actually a collective consciousness, but they individuate to talk to us as an individual. So my question to you, Peter, and I don't know if you can tap into the answers of this, is that when I talk to Saint Germain through one channeler, and I talk to Saint Germain through another channeler, do those Saint Germains know what the previous talk with the other channelers were? Is it connected? Because it's connected by name and vibration. But if you're having basically two different conversations with two different channelers who are channeling, let's say Saint Germain, is there a common point where those Saint Germains communicate with each other?
That's such an interesting question, Daryl. Oh my God. And so first of all, thank you for that. And then this is coming from my sacred higher self right now, this answer. And so what I'm being shown is, okay, so it's all in fractals, right? So you got the source and then all the layers of the souls, and you got these collectives and then all the way down to us, right? So it's kind of like you go up and you get into the collective, and then you get the essence that is the Saint Germain, okay? Then he comes down here. But because he's coming down here, he has to go through this person who is a filter. All right. And then when he comes down and talks to a different channel, he's coming down. So there's a different filter. So it's a different set of energies, because always the human has to be the one who interfaces, and they bring with it their own reality. Okay. So now, does this entity, that is Saint Germain here, can it pick up the conversation there? And the answer
or cross communicate yeah.
So the answer is yes and no. Yes, in that they can go up and Saint Germain is aware of all this, right? know in that person B may not have the same vibrational pattern as person A, and so the information that came here may just come across as fuzz and stuff. So a lot of times it can be, yes, because the soul does know what's going on. All right. Or excuse me, the entity does know what's going on, and the individuals it goes through know what's going on for them. But this one here, as the channel, may not hold the same frequency. So even though they're getting the exact same information, this comes out in Greek and this comes out in crayons. Okay.
Yeah,
So
accurate.
I don't know if that helps you as far as the answer goes. So it's a yes and a no that I'm getting there. I do want
It
to
does, and it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense.
Yeah. So I do want to tell you one story that's kind of fun. Um, this entity right here we go. All right, that's Sri Bhagavan. He's a great being. I mean, great being. All right, a lot in one body here. Uh, so this is what's called a Sri Murti. And a Sri Murti is when a great being puts their consciousness in an icon or a statue or something like that. And so you can just look at the picture, but you also get their energetics. Now, Bhagavan's sometimes known as Kalki, which is just gives you an idea of the magnitude that we're dealing with this consciousness. Anyway, there's many people who've reported to me that they would have a conversation with their Srimurti. They would be praying or talking to Bhagavan through their Srimurti. And then 3 or 6 months later, they'd be in India and they would manage to get an audience with him. And he would pick up the conversation exactly where they left it off in their living room. Okay. So that indicates to me that his awareness is so large that it can be this. But again, so the entity is always aware of the individual conversations, is what I'm picking up. But like I said, the individuals may not be able to hold the frequency that this one held, so it'll sound different, look different, and in essence be different.
That makes complete sense. And actually, to support this conversation, I did speak directly with Saint Germain while I was in the sarcophagus of the Great King's Chamber, pulling out the seventh ray. And then I talked to Saint Germain through a channel, and that channel did not have the details that I had directly talked. So it makes sense. Exactly what you said. I get it, and it does work with. It is it coincides with my experience of reality. So I get it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I just got to admit, so Daryl, you're one of the people that I get the pleasure of interacting with whose consciousness is just big, big, right? Because you can talk to all these entities. I can talk to all these entities. So I'm always fearful when you ask me a question, I give you an answer. Like, because right now Saint Germain is talking to me constantly since you started. And basically,
Yeah.
the only thing I can say is hi. We just, I mean, you're getting it already through yourself, but he wants to reaffirm hi. Okay. And if you get into the specifics, when I try to get into the specifics, it gets muddy. Right. And so that just kind of confirms what you were saying.
Okay. Can I add something for your audience? So Saint Germain is attached to the seventh violet ray, your crown chakra, and that energy is pulling forth to Earth right now in order to connect folks to the quantum grid. And Saint Germain, of the violet flame, he's all about ascension. He's one of the most powerful energy for humanity right now in order to up our density level to a higher density. So he is crown chakra, works with archangels Psychical, and that is a lot of the energy that we're coming now for our extension into the fourth density. So message from Saint Germain.
Yes, thank you. A long time ago, somebody emailed me some beautiful songs to just really put you in the vibration of the violet flame. And I couldn't find who did them, but they're not copyrighted. So I've got them posted on my YouTube channel, and I'll try to get my editor to put links below. So if you guys just want to go into a trance dance on the violet flame, that might help you out. And, just because I love being in that energy. Anyway, Daryl, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Let me remove your spotlight. And then Steve, I'm going to spotlight you if you want to unmute yourself. Go for it, please.
Hi, Peter. How are you? Good to see you again. Kind of a little bit off of what Daryl was saying too. My question was right before he brought this out, Peter, was there's a lady I've seen too. I don't know if you've heard of her, named Liz Cross, and she has this ability where she does these things called mind probes and can connect with different consciousnesses and beings and stuff like that. And somebody brought up to her, I guess, and where she does these things, and they asked about source or God itself, and they said, is is there only one being of source or God that exists and everything is God and this and that? And she probed into the source, and it said no, not exactly, because like I guess since there's different galaxies and universes, and like wherever the Earth universe is or galaxy that we're in, there's a source that's like kind of like assigned to that. And since there's all these other millions of galaxies and different universes, there's kind of like a source to each one of them, and each one of them is not really the same source. Supposedly, it says. So I'm just kind of wondering, well, is, is there one big source for all the sources, or is it actually, since there was never really like a big bang or anything, supposedly, you know, is it just different consciousnesses, spreading itself around, and depending where and what beings or where they're at, on what we're learning, on what levels we're at, it has to be a source that's, I mean, just kind of for that level.
So here's another one of those great yes and no answers, because you're dealing with such a big question. And it's kind of funny too, because I just got done reading this beautiful science fiction book by a guy named Douglas Phillips, and it's about the quantum realm. And he actually explains some of the science in between it. And he was explaining the latest math and science that says that there's nothing, literally nothing outside of the universe, and that there's nothing that was created, or excuse me, there was nothing before the creation of the universe. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a self-contained thing. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not. Spirit's telling me, good guess, science, but you still got a long ways to go. Okay. That's what Spirit's telling me right now. All right. But it was kind of fun because I like reading science fiction books, and I certainly enjoyed that. So here's the way I understand it. Okay. You at every level is a creator. All right. And so when we talk about things like the multiverse, all right,
Mm-hmm.
your reality, you're creating it. You're creating this conversation with me, this thing that goes on the video. Because you're in it, you're a creator of it. All right. Now, things can change, the Mandela effect, right? So there could be some possible future or past where we're having this Q&A and there's no Steve asking the question in it, even though some people will swear they've seen it and some people will swear they have not, right? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they are all creators, right? So now the question is, and this is just kind of excuse the word, but it's kind of a mind fuck. All right. The question is, oh, wait, well, who's the creator of 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 the creator? It's all fractal, right? So the only answer I can give you that makes any sense is there is universal intelligence. Okay? All that is creation, God, whatever you want to call it, it exists. Now, whether you choose to say it's a one thing or it's multiple, it's got brothers, sisters, whatever, that's how do you interpret this? You're in a field of consciousness, and those consciousnesses literally create a reality. And it's not just source doing it, you're doing it. You just don't know it yet because you have the world according to Steve. And that's how it is. So, it's a great question. And what does it get you as far as knowledge? Oh,
Yeah.
I'll worship two instead of one, or this. It doesn't
Uh-huh.
get you anywhere. It's like so, you know, it's like
Yeah.
I remember a long time ago when I first started my path, I was listening to Esther Hicks channel up Abraham, and she was
Mm-hmm.
talking about somebody was asking the creation question and the God question, and she basically gave the what does it matter answer, where she just goes out and starts to say, uh, it's always expanding and it's always growing and it always has been. And
Yeah.
that is the only answer. Now, how you choose to break that up, enjoy. You
Yeah.
know, some people like to boxes, some people like to color in the boxes, some people like to get a sand rake and just clear it out and then make little pictures and it changes the next day. Have at it. But the key for me and the key that Spirit's wanting me to get to you is you are your creator. So do you ever meet a flat earther? I love flat earthers. I so do. And they'll sit there and they'll flat earth you and they'll just flat earth you and stuff like that. And I finally got to the understanding where that's their reality. They do
Yeah.
live on a flat earth because they're a
Yeah.
creator. Okay.
Yeah.
And who am I to say anything about their reality? All right.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
enjoy it, but I'm still over here in my round earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Daryl just wrote, there is one source for all in the universe. And I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's the answer. It's a one reality. And how it expresses across dimensions, time, space, universes.
Mhm.
If you go down the
Yeah.
Yeah, I
street,
mean,
go ahead, Daryl.
yeah, if I can just jump in, there is one source for everything, but what humans have to understand is there are multi-universes. So of that is it's fractals of fractals of fractals of fractals. Everything is a fractal of the one source. But so if you really want to answer, there is one source of which then everything is a fractal of that, including different universes in different dimensions, in different densities. So it's all fractals of fractals of fractals of the one source.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thanks, Daryl.
Okay.
And yeah, so the whole bottom line is, are you able to take advantage of your reality and use your full God-given, God-taken, self-created gifts? Use your gifts to create the world you want. That's
Yeah.
the question to be asked. Everything else is just a snipe hunt, you know?
And can I jump in with a quick trivia answer? And that is that this universe was created 13.8 billion years ago. So that's when we had the Big Bang for our universe. But other universes were created at other times, although we all know that there is no time, time's illusion, but just for our conversation wise, we're going to pretend that time is linear. So if you do it that way, our universe was created about 13.85 billion years ago, and other universes were created previous to that, and other universes are going to be created in the future, but they're all coming from one source.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Does that help, Steve?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense, Peter. Yes. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you,
All
Daryl.
right. Does someone else have a question they would like to ask? Freddie, I see your hand is up, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spotlight you. Okay. And Daryl, feel free to jump in anytime. But right now, I'm going to put Freddie on the spotlight and go for it, please.
This is a question about the universe also. What is the central sun that we connect with when we do the oneness meditation? What's the significance of it, and what is its relationship to source?
Okay. So that's a beautiful thing. I'm going to start, and then I'm going to throw it to you, Daryl, because I know
Okay.
you got some good stuff to add
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So I'm going to start with this. So first of all, when I say central sun, a lot of times it's just a word. Okay. And I use it interchangeably with God or source or anything like that,
Oh,
because to me,
okay.
it represents light coming out from a singularity into all of it, which is what source does. It's in all of it, right? So I use it that way. Now, because it's a sun, that means it's a portal. First of all, planets are alive, suns are alive, right? They have consciousness. You can talk to them. It's a really trippy stuff, all right? And because it's a sun, it's a portal, which means you can get from one to another through this whole network of quantum craziness. All right. Now, when I say central sun, I'm using that metaphorically as the portal to everything. Right? I'm also using it specifically scientifically as I understand science, and I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm using it to say, oh, this is the portal from our universe to all the other universes. So this is where it comes in from source to generate and feed this part of the creation that the source is given. That's how I understand it. So I'm going to bring you into this conversation, Daryl, have you
Yeah, so I agree exactly with what Peter said, but I'm going to add to it. So you need to understand that galaxies are a living being. A solar system is a living being. A sun is a living being. A planet is a living being. And, we aren't humans, we're a living being, but, we're like fleas on fleas on fleas on fleas, right? But so when you take what Peter has said, but also understand that the sun is a living being. And it has it's the logos of this solar system, meaning that the planets are, for lack of better words, like the daughters or the sons of the sun. I mean, it's a family unit. It's just a being that we don't quite click, but it's a living being. As the living being of suns and planets, they have different characteristics that we can't imagine, right? Just like humans have we have character. Well, a sun has a different characteristic and a different dimension and different laws of nature, well, laws of the cosmos that it has to live by. So one of the characteristics of sun is what Peter just said, is that it has the ability to be a portal. It's just a characteristic of a sun. Other suns have that characteristic too, because they're suns. It's a characteristic of being a sun. Again, not like our human dimension and characteristic, but of a planetary logos nature. They have their own characteristics and talents and abilities and things that they do. Does that help?
Yes, very much so. Thank you, both of you.
You're welcome, Freddie. Good to see you. It looks like there's nice weather in Tennessee today, huh?
Yeah, I'm sitting on my back porch.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
And the azaleas are blooming.
Doesn't get no better. All right, you take care now. All right, somebody else have a question they want to ask. I'm really enjoying having you get here today, Daryl. It's like we're doing a co-host show, and I'm like really liking it because and I like your energy, and too, selfish. I was tired before it started. I'm like, oh yeah, step up, please. All right.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun to me. I love
good.
it.
I'm glad you're here. All right, so Rita, go ahead and unmute yourself, and then please. What's up, Rita? Good to see your smiling face again today.
They're nice to see you. Hi there. So I have this question. It's kind of connected to what Steve has asked before as well. So you've been saying that we are the creators of ourselves. And I have been reading the book series, Conversations with God. And one of the learnings that I have got is that whatever we believe, we shall experience. But as I'm also learning theta healing myself, and but people have been saying that we can change our reality as we want. So as we change our mind. And with theta healing, it says that, well, the theories, it says that if you want to change your reality, you can, but first you have to do a session of healing. So then you can find whatever that's not what's the negative belief or what's the negative cause that caused the reality that you don't want, the reality that you're experiencing right now. And then after you've found that, then you can clean it and you can cleanse it, and then you can change your reality. But if, I don't know if I'm making this clear, but what I wanted to ask is that, so if what we believe we shall experience, so if I believe that I can change my reality just as I want to without doing all the healing or cleansing, is that what am I going to experience? I mean, don't get me wrong, I totally believe that all these healings, they are really wonderful tools to help us know ourselves and things, but I'm just sucking this thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Do you want to go first on this one, Daryl?
Oh, I would love to.
Please.
Okay, so I've read all the books. I read The Conversation with God. Great book, terrific. So to break it down is that there are various different techniques. What you just jumped into is basically what I call parallel universe jumping, meaning that everything is happening right now with all these different parallel universes, right? And the thing is that you can jump to any parallel universe there if you find the vibration. the more unlikely it is. For example, the possibility of jumping to a parallel universe that I look 20 years younger by tomorrow is less likely than me jumping to a parallel universe that I look 5 minutes younger in 2 days. You get it? It's about probabilities. Everything is happening at once, but at different probabilities. If you're going to jump for something that's way out there, it's probably not probable. So what you just described there was how to heal and how to bring yourself into a healing technique. And that is basically taking the concept of parallel universe, but you're doing it with a human permission slip. A permission slip is basically where the human collective consciousness has written in, this is how you do it. So with the human permission slip, and is true, is that you can get there if you truly believe it. But what they don't really emphasize for you is that that's really, really hard to do. Even if you tell yourself, oh, I believe I can cure my cancer, chances are subconsciously you don't. And chances are, if you keep on saying that, you're actually putting out the vibration of, oh, I have cancer, rather than me curing your cancer. It's the same thing with finances. People always say, oh, I'm going to put out the vibration that I'm rich, but they're really putting out the vibration, oh, I don't have money. So what they're saying is true, that if you believe it, it will automatically happen. But the tricky thing about that, the loophole on that, is that most humans can't go into that belief. Really, they can fool themselves that they believe it, but they can't. So the way you do it is that you got to do it kind of like in little baby steps. You got to soften that belief, find out what your limiting belief is, tackle it by decreasing your limiting belief, and then at the same time, then you can raise your positive belief. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that is beautiful too. I want to reaffirm everything Daryl said, and I just want to add a little bit to it. First of all, I didn't read Conversations with God. I listened to the audiobooks where Ed Asner spoke as the voice of God. It was fantastic. I like that. Second of all, so for me, it's always been a matter of awareness. Okay. And most people don't get past the conscious local mind. All right. They don't get past well, I want this, and that's all I have. And then they might get as far as, oh, but I don't have it. Okay. They might get that far, but they never get into the unconscious. And the unconscious is where most of the generative creative ability takes place. It's like, the law of attraction, it's true, but what they don't tell you is it's 1,000 times stronger in your unconscious than your conscious, which is why if you just keep doing affirmations, it's kind of like Daryl said, you just keep spinning the stuff you don't want because you're putting yourself in awareness. I don't have it, la, 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 la. Okay. So the whole game is awareness. One of my best teachers taught me awareness is the first step, awareness is the last step. Okay. And I never understood the importance of that, because if you can get all the way to, you use the words, Rita, identify and then heal. That's what you were talking about. And then you ask, well, is it possible to just go past the identification and the healing? So it's like this. If you can get to the full identification and have total awareness of all that is and all that is within you that is attracting it, you've already changed it. You've already completed what is that. So there's no having to just move to it. But the whole thing is, can you hold that awareness? And so very few people have practiced that. Now, I am a person who's far enough along that I can tell you this as a teacher. Have I mastered it physically? Not so much. Sometimes a lot. But in some other ways, it's like, okay, another layer. That's what's in that unconscious. So everything you said is true, but it's the way it was presented as you first heard your understanding of it. It was a little bit simpler than what's really going on. And that is that get to the truth of the awareness. And if you get to the truth of that, then you're free. And this is why I've always said anything fully expressed turns to bliss, because we're in bodies, you have this unconscious thing, and just for those of you watching, it almost always boils down to these six. I'm not loved, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve, I'm not good enough, I'm being punished. Okay, there's variations. All right, so you get to that and you fully experience that, then the energetic, the density, the emotional stuckness is released, and that is the healing. And you no longer need to do anything. You just have a bigger awareness. You see more, and then you automatically create it, because that is your universe now. Does that make it better or more confusing?
No, they are beautiful. Thank you.
Can I give a secret trick for
Yes.
everyone listening?
Yes.
The law of manifestation. In order to manifest in this universe, it's very complicated, but I'm going to give you a quick fix. This is a feeling universe. It's not a thinking universe, meaning that when you want something to manifest, you don't think it, you feel it. You don't think, oh, I got to get money in the bank. I got to get money in the bank. I got to, that's a thinking process. You got to feel abundant in your heart. And one of the tricks of doing that, or in your case, if you want to do, health-wise, is you got to just feel it in your heart and just feel gratitude for already having it. It's a simple trick, but not too many people can do it. If you can actually feel it in your heart that you already have it, then you're feeling it. You're not thinking it. You feel that emotion in your heart of, oh, I've reconfigured myself. Oh, I got $1 million in the bank account. If you can feel that in your heart, then that will make it manifest in the outside world. Because the reality is that everything is internal. Everything that you're seeing from the outside is subject to how you're feeling on the inside. It's not the outside that makes you feel a way, it's the reverse. It's how you feel on the inside that projects out what's your outside world. So if you feel in your heart that you're abundant, that will manifest abundance in your outside surrounding. If you feel in your heart that you are healthy, that you're healthy, you will become healthy. Your cells will manifest on the outside world, on your physical plane, into health. It's a feeling reality. This reality is a feeling reality. And one of the simplest ways of doing that is just to have gratitude for it as if it has already happened.
Yeah, that is so beautiful, Daryl. That is just so beautiful, because for me, it's like, if you have complete and total gratitude, you only need to pray once because it's done. And until you get to where you're in complete and total gratitude, that you have it, not that you think about it, you actually have it and you're holding gratitude, then affirmations are like a double-edged sword. If you keep saying it, then you're affirming you don't have it. But if you could say it at a minimal amount of times and use that as a trigger to leap into the feeling, oh, I'm a wealthy person, and then you spend the time feeling it, that's an effective use of an affirmation.
The number one pitfalls that humans have on Earth about how to manifest things is that they avoid this one rule that's foundation of how to manifest things, but they read it, but they don't ever implement it, is that when you manifest something, you put out the positive intention, the feeling from your heart, and then you forget about it. No mandates to outcome, no doing like, oh, I wished it, so I need to get it. If the minute you do that, you have now messed up your manifestation, because you have now mandated an outcome. So if you want to manifest anything in this earth, your health, $1 billion, what you do is you just put out a positive intention, hold that feeling in your heart as if you already have it, and then you forget all mandates for outcome. You don't sit there waiting for the $1 million, because the minute you do that, you have now mandated an outcome and you have just blew the whole manifestation deal. So you just got to put out the intention, hold it in your heart, and then release all mandates for outcome.
Yeah, I remember a long time ago, I was listening to a spiritual teacher, and she was correct, but she was incorrect. Right? She's like, this whole thing about God is my co-pilot. Screw that. I'm going to go to the back of the plane. God sees more and does more. All right. Let them take care of it. As soon as you start doing what Daryl said, and you focus on it, and then you're putting all this little small, and you're cutting off so many possible realities and stuff like that. So, yeah, thank you. All right, Rita. So much
you. Thank you,
appreciating
guys.
getting to see your beautiful smiling face. And what a great discussion you started. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Yeah. Anybody else would like to ask a question? Please do so. This is a special time because Daryl's here. So it's like you're getting way more than I could give you. And, I just love Daryl. Love me some Daryl. It's like, how can you not when you get us? Those who don't know, I did some readings for Daryl, and it's like freaky ass stuff. This is the first time as a human in the human planetary system in a human body. So you don't have a lot of the stuff we do. And, his soul's like, when I count in years of souls, it goes way back to the creation of the universe or our universe. All right. So we're talking 13.
13.85 billion years.
Yes. So that's a lot of experience and wisdom you're getting. I mean, I'm a very old soul, but I'm just like, I could be like a grandkid compared to him. All right. So who would like to ask a question here? Freddy, please join us again.
Can I just add on to what you were saying, both of you, about manifestation? You don't plant a seed and then keep digging it up to see if it's sprouted yet.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
That's right.
Yeah, that was one of the hardest lessons I learned from listening to Abraham, was sitting there and celebrating. Yay, look, it's growing. Yay. Cool. All right.
I mean, can I give you another helpful hint? And that is like a lot of people are thinking like, well, I do want to mandate an outcome. I do want my wish to come true. So how do I not do that? The way you not do that is you understand that whatever you want, the universe can one up on that, can do a better plan than that. So you just let the universe provide you with what you want because it knows better what you want. And quite frankly, it's more creative and beautiful and spectacular. So you just put out the intention and let the universe make that plant grow any way it wants to because it knows far more what a beautiful plant to be grown than you do. So you just put your human thoughts away and let the universe flow to you your gift or the universe knows what's better for you better than you do. So you just let the universe come on in, let it grow from the universe seed. You don't mandate, oh, it has to be a rose, it has to be a plant. Just let the universe grow it. It knows better what you want.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I want to put this down on a personal level. So Tracy and I, a decade or so more, discovered the concept of Antriamen, which is the God that dwells within. And so we would always pray, and it would be funny when we would pray for opposite things, right? And we'd tease each other, oh, my Antriamen won. Right, my God's stronger than your God. Oh, we were like little kids. We were just goofing around that way. And then, but it comes from a serious thing. I was in a class, and so somebody asked one of the monks at Oneness University, well, what happens when people pray for opposite outcomes? And he basically said, well, whoever's closer to source gets the outcome because they've got more connection to source, right? And you can see it with sporting teams, how the home field has an advantage and stuff like that. So there was one time where I was on a river rafting trip and I wrenched my arm real bad, and I announced the next morning to Tracy, I'm selling the boat, selling the whole rig. I'm tired of it. I've done 10 years. I love it. I'm done. She goes, no, I like river rafting. I don't want to sell it. So in the back of my mind, I thought, this is interesting. Two of us are praying for opposite outcomes here. All right. So later that day, I'm rigging my boat to go set sail, and one of the kayakers who's with us starts asking me about it, and I show him all the features of our rig and stuff. And I said, oh, by the way, I'm selling it. And he goes, how much? And I told him, and he goes, oh, well, for that price, I would let you guys use it once a year. And so we got, like Daryl said, an outcome that was beyond what either of us conceived of, because we both had a really good connection to source. And so that's what I just want to do. So it always, my thing is that what happens when two wizards play poker? It's like that would be a game to watch, okay? And stuff like that. But this is kind of what Daryl's saying, if I understand it, is the outcome's bigger than you can imagine. And so for all of you guys listening to this on YouTube, you know, I think I learned it in AA. Let go, let God. All right. Beautiful. Thanks so much, Freddie. And Steve, I'm going to bring you back here in just a second here. Go ahead, please, Steve.
Yes, Peter, just what you and Daryl were saying now, like and earlier what she was saying about like when people are trying to use the universe to like manifest or the you know to be physically healed or so, and what he's saying, you know, you put it out there and just don't, you believe that you already are such. So then when we're getting to people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he has these things that people go to, and he teaches them how to do this and monitors it with their brain waves and all this, and it's actually scientifically. So how is it that he's doing it like that with people that have no idea of maybe a big concept of, you know, metaphysics and stuff like that, and they're healing themselves then, just like what we're talking right now about using the power of intention or the power of, you know, how is he having people be able to tap into it and heal themselves of like stuff like cancer or you know, debilitating diseases?
Daryl, please take it.
And can I take it? Okay. So there are various ways for every human to heal, and they're different per human. But let's say on a very 3D human level is the physical form, and you got to follow the laws of Newtonian physics and the law of pharmacy, you know, that they say, oh, this vitamin's going to help you, this vitamin's going to help you. So you follow those human common laws. They're very basic in the 3D thing. But then if you go to like 3.5, which is still human, consciousness, third density human, you can now tap into a higher level of say, oh, I can use my mind to release serotonins to impact my body to heal this. So Joe Dispenza and Dr. Lipton, I read all the books, I love them. They are telling humans a true form from a 3D human perspective that's quite frankly on a very high level, because it's talking about talking to your inner self, meditating, and using that in order to control your physical body to release hormones, which actually do work on your body on a 3D level. So everything that they're saying is true and is well suited for most of the population who is up in that vibration, who can understand that there is a higher self. You get benefits by meditating. By meditating, you'll get serotonins and hormones that interact with your body and go correct. So yes, those techniques are true for a lot of people because they are of that high consciousness who can absorb that. Certain people who read that book who are human, no, not going to work because they don't believe in that shit. They don't believe in meditating or connecting. So it's going to have no value for them. But for the ones who understand that meditation works and that you can tap your inner self and release that, it's gonna work. So I love their stuff. I read all the books. It works. But there are higher techniques of cellular regeneration. There are more advanced techniques of cellular regeneration and instant healing. And that's what I was telling Peter about earlier, that I know those techniques and I will share them with folks. And Peter will be one of the first folks that I invited.
If you're watching this on YouTube, follow the channel or subscribe to our emails. I'll keep you posted when Daryl's taking this public. Yeah, beautiful. I want to add to this too a little bit. So it's like this. First of all, you don't have to know how something works to make it work. Okay. So you know how to drive a car, but I'm willing to guess you don't really understand all the little tidbits of the explosions and the cylinders and stuff like that. Okay. So you don't have to know how something works to get something to work. Second of all, there's a million ways you can get there. So one of my beautiful friends took the mentorship program that I offer, where I work with people to try to get them to be able to do one-on-one spiritual coaching and then energetic healings and stuff like that. And so I really didn't need to teach her anything. She really had all the skills. But hey, I'm happy to collect a paycheck and be a rah-rah cheerleader, all right? Anyway, so we're getting to this point where she's sitting there and she connects to her team, some beautiful ETs. She connects to her team and she's getting ready to do an energy transmission. And so she gets there and she goes like this for a long time. And you can feel the energy build. And then she just goes, and it's a blast. You're like, wow. Okay, so it's really, really cool stuff, right? So I said to her, you don't have to do all that. You can just go and give him the blast. You can just, and she's like looking at me and I'm looking at her. Why are you doing that? She's looking at me. Why are you not doing that? Right. And it doesn't really matter because it's what you do. If you'll notice when Daryl was talking, see, I'm an Italian. I just make gestures. But when Daryl was talking, there were energetics in his hand movements. If you're sensitive to energy and like people who speak light language will often do that, right? There were energetics there. Now, do I know what's going on? No. Can I feel it? Yes. Now, is that the only way to send energy? We're going to try an experiment later. I always do the transmission for Awakening Through My Eyes. I'm going to invite Daryl to join us, and it'll be both of us working if you want to do that with me, Daryl. And I have no idea what he's going to be doing. So we're going to see how that goes. But I'm excited because Spirit's telling me, oh, it's going to be good. So does that help you understand that there's a million ways to skin a cat, and they've got some beautiful ways, and those are only a part of what the human potential is possible.
Right. So I'm going to add to that. So to add to what Peter said is that because we are human in this incarnation and we have the human senses, anything that we can do to utilize those human senses taps that down into the vibration of this plane. So the very fact that you can hear Peter or Tracy do light language, that is entering in your human senses of hearing, and it's tapping it down into this vibration of Earth. The very fact that you can see this on my hands, that is a vibration of energy that is transmitted to you through your eye senses. If I was physically there, I could put my hands on you and tap certain meridian points, and that will tap the energy into you. You see how by using the human senses, you can snap it in, and it's not one or the other. It's one and. The more you can snap it in through the human senses, the more it will register and snap within you. Now, the trick is we actually have billions of other senses that we don't know about because we're human and we think, oh, we only have 6. Reality is that we have far many more senses and abilities than you can imagine. It's just that you don't have a name for it, so you've never practiced it because you don't know it's there. But we have a lot more clairs than people have been talking about. And yeah, so I just want to emphasize that, yes, we stamp it in with your human senses because that's what we're given on Earth is the human senses. So use them and use them to like stamp them in and to emphasize the energy so that it will register and stick with you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Steve. Hannah, I'm going to get to you in just 1 second. While I'm changing the spotlight feature, I just want to say the next Q&A is scheduled for June 8th. Those of you watching this on YouTube can just sign up and get an announcement when that's going to happen. And who knows, maybe I'll see if Daryl wants to come back or we do some kind of other beautiful guests here because I'm really liking this kind of format of different people giving you all kinds of beautiful insight. And I think that's the whole message that we're trying to talk about today is that there's a lot of ways because there's a lot of humans, and that's the beauty and the uniqueness of our growth. So Hannah, you're up here if you want to unmute yourself, and then Vicki will get to you in a moment, okay?
Wow, Daryl and Peter, you're hitting on a note that I've just been trying to understand. On December 9, 2024 at 7:29, walking across a crosswalk and then down to my car, 2 cars down with my back to the traffic. I was hit by a RAV4 and I was thrown 20 feet into the air into the middle of the road. I saw my body go up and I saw I saw myself going back into my body, and Peter knows that I'm a very independent person. And when I got into my body, I just realized I can't do anything. I have to allow everybody around it do everything for me. Definitely went to Salem Hospital. I was in trauma for 2 days, and the things that they were worried about the most was, how was my spinal cord? And I came about that far from I fractured 4 or 5 vertebrae, fractured my sacrum, broke my collarbone, which they didn't realize for 3 days, came massively down on my head, didn't crack my head, but hematomas, bruising all on my left side, and my right side was where the impact hit, but I didn't break the bones, but bone bruising is even worse. I never felt, I felt guided. I just felt like, Hannah, you just have to sit here and allow, this is why we have doctors. This is why we have hospitals, trauma and ER, to help us at the moment. But then, you know, I trust myself, and I trust my body and what I know. They took me out of the hospital. Medically, they couldn't do anything more for me. So they put me December 13th until December 26th. They put me in a nursing home, a short-term rehab nursing home. It was up to me. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even lift myself up. The CNAs had to help me. But because I had read Joe Dispenza and a lot of wonderful, wonderful books, I understood that, and I watched my videos from Egypt with Peter and all the beautiful things that I've done in my life, and how gifted I am to have had all these beautiful experiences, that this is just another part of the journey. But I allowed myself to just say, go with the flow. I didn't put any demands on myself. I didn't, and I'm so grateful for everything that I've learned through this journey. Got out December 26th, put me in so I could get ready for home health care, operated on my shoulder, went back home, all on my own, 4 floors. And now I'm about 20 weeks later, and I'm walking with a walking stick. My brain, I never lost consciousness. And I just have so many beautiful questions and affirmations just to share with everybody, because I'm having to come back into my life, and I've lost time. I've lost about a week or so. I've lost what time is, but time is really living in the moment. And but I'm moving. I'm 75, and I with everything that I'm going through, I've lost 25. I don't know where 50 to 75 went, you know, through this whole journey, because I still think I'm 49 because I was born in 1949. But I'm moving forward in something to share with my purpose and my passion. And, you know, I don't know whether I'm asking questions or whatever, but just, it's hard for me to believe that I'm here and I'm talking with everybody. With all the stories that I hear, I could be in a wheelchair, I could be dead. I could be so many different scenarios, but I'm thriving. And I'm just having to come into who I am.
You're a beautiful
embrace it.
inspiration. You are a beautiful inspiration, Hannah, and that's who you're showing us right now. It's marvelous.
Can I answer that? I get the vibration of your statement and question, and this is for Hannah as it is for everyone listening, and that is that everything is perfect. even though at the time it may be traumatic and not what we want to experience, it is perfect. Everything is always perfect. And I hear how harsh that was on you, but you know at this point that was perfect. You know that it was really the catalyst to get you up, and you know, and you had your dark night of the soul, which launched as the catalyst to get you to this new elevated spot. Even in the most traumatic circumstances, the harsh ones, they are all perfect. They are all for you. It didn't happen to you, it happened for you. And because you had that incident, you are now where you are. You have fulfilled your soul's growth in that part of your experience on earth. Your soul plan was to actually have a period where you had to be dependent on someone. You had to find out, oh, what does it feel like to be totally dependent on someone? I'm normally really independent, and I don't need, but no, your soul designed a incident where you would get to experience that beautiful phase of life, that part that you wouldn't have. Not only did you experience that and got that off your bucket list of, oh, I experienced that on earth, you also use that as a catalyst of growth and self-awareness. It made you wake up to who you really are, that you're your inner self, not this physical body. You are much more than this physical body. And it was the catalyst that helped you wake up and grow from. So now you can see that it was perfect. And by the way, anything that happens to you, that happens to any of us, it's always perfect. The trick is to just know at the time, right now, that is perfect. You have the insight now to look back and see it's perfect, but you can learn from that, and you can improve on that, and you can know that anything that happens to you from now on is perfect. Everything is always perfect and working for you. It's not happening to you, it's always working for you. And thank you for that beautiful example of how it's true. I mean, I see as clear as day. I see you, I see your vibration, I see your loveliness, and I see how that incident helped make you bloom into where you are right now.
Yeah, I don't have any negative feelings. Everything is, I just have so many gifts to share now, and I just have to be able to now catch up on that, it being in the moment, to be able to move forward, to share everything that I have.
Exactly. Your story is a beautiful sharing. Your story is now going to help whoever's listening to this, to help them understand they should come across the incident in their life to see how you've handled it and how they can now handle it. Your sharing this is beautiful, and for the human collective consciousness.
Bless you. Thank you. I'm so glad I got on today. You've helped me.
You're just a beautiful spirit. Every time I've known you since I met you on that Egypt trip, your energy and everything, much, much appreciation. Cool. All right, Vicki, I'm going to spotlight you in just a second here. And if you want to go ahead and unmute, and I'm going to add you to the spotlight. And please go for it.
Hey, this is a little silly question, but I like to listen to podcasts and whatnot while I'm doing my barn chores. And I was wondering if I listen to them at a faster speed, or I don't stop to meditate when there's a transmission coming through, do I still receive the transmissions?
So it's like this. All right. You're impacted by everything. All right. It's in your field and you get it. Now, the whole thing is awareness. The more awareness you apply to it, the more you have that move to the forefront of your reality. It's in your reality, it's in your field, the more you move to the forefront. So, I love listening to subliminal music when I'm doing things I don't need to pay attention to, right? You know, when I'm on an airplane, I've always got subliminal tapes telling me I'm beautiful and wonderful, right? I love that because why not have that in my unconscious as opposed to other stuff in my unconscious? Why not? Does it have immediate effects? Well, when I choose to focus my awareness on it, it does. So, you know, you're going to know as you just immerse yourself in those waters, occasionally you're going to stop and go, oh. And that's when you got to be having the discernment to pause the other stuff and go, oh, yeah, this is for me right here, right now. That's the way I understand it.
Can I add to that? So I agree with everything Peter says, but remember how I told you that we humans have more clairs, more psychic abilities than what we know of? Well, I'm going to give you one. You have clear memory, meaning that you have the ability to memorize everything that you hear and record it within your DNA exactly, perfect, instantly. The only thing is, it's recorded within your subconscious. So you can actually listen to podcasts while you're gardening, while you're doing it. You can even listen to it while you're asleep, and your clear memory will record it. And all you got to do is tell your inner self, hey, I just want you, my subconscious, to subconsciously let me know whenever I need to use it. I don't even need to know what it is. I just need to know that you're recording it and you will bring it forth to my attention if I ever need it. So it's like instantly having everything on backup tape. You have it in you, and you don't even got to know what it is. You just got to get it to work for you because you have that ability. You have that psychic ability. You just don't know that you do. But now that I'm explaining it to you, you can now let it sink in and use it.
Yeah, Tracy and I are working on an app, which is going to be like a university level Ascension course. I mean, everything, you know, all of it laid out and stuff. And I just literally finished yesterday writing the section on how to access automatic knowing, the ability to know what you need to know when you need to know it. Because whether or not it's in your, I love it. This is going to be clear memorance now, the ability to remember. But whether or not you have it in your compact field of your energy here, if you're in oneness with creation, and then you put your focus on, oh, I need this or I like this, you know, you don't need or ask, you just put your focus that you know, and then you're right there with it. So yeah, I want to totally affirm everything Daryl's saying and say, and it doesn't just stop with what's inside you. It's like this is the whole game to play. So the only question is you got to ask yourself, and obviously you've got a concern because you thought to bring it up here as a question. Well, is this going to work or not? So the real question is not whether it works or not. The real question is, what is it inside me that has doubt that I would bring this up as a question? And then you would explore that, and then you'll find your answers.
Yeah, I actually think that I would be getting the transmission. Like my logic tells me that it's energy, I'm getting the energy. But some things really pull me, and then I pause my work and I sit down and I meditate so I can feel the energy stronger when I really am drawn to something.
Yeah. And that's it. You're just in alignment. Oh, whoop, ding, 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 ding. Pay attention.
There is a utility to meditating and concentrating on it because it's working with your human brain. So I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying that you can have your cake and eat it too. You can do both. Right. And you can do both at the amount that suits you for your timing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
Eat it too with ice cream. I was at a restaurant the other day and I had something I never had before, even though like a quarter of the planet has eaten it. Rose water ice cream. Rose water ice cream with pistachios. Oh, so have it all, Vicki. Have it all.
I love eating ice cream.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you both.
All right. So we're going to come back to Hannah and then we're going to go into transmission. So 1 second, Hannah, to put you back on the spotlight here and go for it.
One thing I wanted to share, and I put it in the comments, but I really do feel that it needs to be shared. That when I was in the nursing home, Becoming Awesome would show up for me at 3 o'clock in the morning. You were, I've just got the chills going through me. You, thank you for what you're doing here, because Becoming Awesome during that time was a huge part of my life, listening to you and Tracy, okay? And everything that you were sharing, and I have to go back to that particular time, and it's throughout. It's just everything has been resonating, but I needed to share that so those people that are listening to this at another time, that they understand the power and the
Thank you.
joy that you bring to us.
You're too kind. And I'm going to just use this as a springboard to say, subscribe. Those of you watching, subscribe. We do the Q&As every month or so, but most of the content on the channel are transmissions and channels that Trace, my wife, and I do with all kinds of entities: Archangel Michael, Saint Germain, angelics, dimensional beings, gods. I mean, it's really fun. So I'm glad you find value in that, Anna, and thank you for giving me a chance to brag out up, and I appreciate that it's like helping. All right, we're going to go into the transmission phase, and what we're going to do here is we're going to get into a oneness field, and the way we're going to get into that oneness field is yeah, and so Steve put in the comments, and I'll put below how to get in touch with Daryl, and when you guys read or watch this on YouTube. But Daryl, if you want to just write your email in the comments for Steve, or your website or whatever, so people can get in touch with you, that'd be great. We're gonna get into oneness now, and the way we're gonna do that is I'm gonna play some music by a good friend of mine, Starbird Inez Miracle, and you're just going to breathe in from the central sun to your heart to everybody on the call, everybody watching this video in the future or past, and everybody in spirit that we're going to invite in. Then you're going to breathe back and forth for the duration of the song, from everybody to your heart to everybody, and just see that energetic flow. And this is going to put us into a oneness field. And then when that's done, if it's okay with you, Daryl, I'm going to put me back on spotlight, and we're going to send a transmission. I'm going to do it mostly through my eyes. So I will take my glasses off, and you can just look into my eyes. Daryl's going to do whatever magic comes forward there. And that's going to be the intent, although it's going to be more than that. The intent is going to be to bring you into more awakening. More of what we talked about when Rita was asking the question about what it is that's keeping me from having all this stuff in the world. All right, just more awareness so you can see it and make your choices. And who knows, maybe you want to choose some Hannah stuff and just say, I'm healthy and healed, and people help me, and look at me now. So that's the whole point of the intent here, is to bring you more in alignment with your power and your truth.
And
Okay.
Peter, just so that people understand what I'm going to do, I speak 4 galactic languages. My primary galactic language is Cosmic Dragon. I know that sounds weird, but it's because the universe was made out of cosmic elements, and the cosmic dragons are the elements of the universe. So that is the galactic language I'm going to pull in, and you're going to see me do hand mudras, and these are dragon hand mudras. It's actually going to give Peter energy too. It's just like an amplifier. It's like an antenna, and it's going to project energy out to you folks with my good intentions.
Beautiful, beautiful. Don't get no better. Stage just keeps getting better. So thank you. All righty. All right. So now let's start by bringing in the whole team. Now, of course, they're always with you. But again, it's that awareness thing. When you put your awareness on it, it gives more permission, more connection, more stuff. So start by bringing in your sacred higher self. Yeah, beautiful. Now your guides and your angels, whatever your team is. You should know them. If you don't know them, just say, hey, team, come on. Beautiful. Now, source itself, go all the way up to whatever you call your name for the divine is, the all that is. Now let's ground it on the planet, Mother Earth, Gaia, your consciousness, your presence, please. And let's go within the earth, all the inner earth beings, all the dimensional beings that are with us. Now let's bring in your multidimensionality. Let's bring in your physical ancestors because you carry that DNA for so long. And now bring in your spiritual ancestors, all your past lives and future lives. Beautiful. The angelic realm, we ask you to be with us. The dragon realm, absolutely, the collective of the dragons. All our star brothers and sisters. And now we put out an open call to all beings of high frequency in service to love and light. Any entities connected to our growth, to helping planet Earth grow. Thank you for being here now. Now, if you care to, please repeat after me. I am my I am presence. And I am one with the I am presence of all humanity. And now, please, during this song, just breathe in from the central sun to your heart to everybody that we've called in, everybody on the call, everybody watching the video, and breathe back and forth from their hearts to yours and your hearts to theirs.
Lucky way. Lucky way. Lucky way. Inikiwa. Ranakan Kira. Inikiwa.
Now, from this unified field of oneness, just allow Source to fill you with what is correct and proper for you in this moment to create the beautiful becoming, your blossom into your greater self. Just receive. Now go ahead and close your eyes and integrate or continue staying connected to Source. The connection has been established. Stay with it and keep allowing and let yourself integrate during this song. Please complete the experience with gratitude.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Thank you. I want to thank you all for being here today. Daryl, you've been like a more than just a guest. It's like, wow, I didn't know this was going to happen. It was so cool. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I had a great time.
Yeah. And I just want to say I appreciate those of you who made donations in the past. If you care to chip in, I'd be grateful to keep that flowing. Heading to France soon, and it's going to be more intimate this time. There's not a big crowd that signed up. So if you have any inkling to hop that plane, or in our case, Tracy and I, we're going to go across the Atlantic on a boat. If you want to get there and join us at the end of June, the beginning of July, for a fabulous intensive where you're just immersed in these energies 24/7. It'd be so nice to see you. Our next Q&A is scheduled for June 8th. You'll be able to see below in the links if you want to sign up for that. And when I get in more information about the activating the healing codes, I just want to say, Daryl, you know, he's my age and I don't look 66. And he looks
Yeah.
younger than me. I'm just saying there's some
Well,
stuff.
I'm a little bit younger. I'm 63.
63. Okay. Yeah. All right. So when we have the information on the healing codes activation, we'll get that out to you. And please remember, like and subscribe, put your comments below. This is a discussion. Share this video. There's like 8 billion of us on the planet. I was serious when I started this discussion earlier. Post your experiences on social media, your uplifting experiences, start a blog, get on other people's social media, talk about this kind of spirituality. Otherwise, people are going to get the same old teachings they've always got, and humanity is going to be slowed down and rather than helped by the emergence of AI. So do your part with all that. All right, stay blessed. See y'all soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.